Life Her Podcast.
Hey, you.
Her is me, her is you. Her is us, her is she, her is we. United we stand, baby, that hurt for keeps. I'm coming and I demand my space, I know it's free. I owe myself the world, they tried to count me out. I've been down some dark roads, they tried to pound me out. From cloudy to sunny, ain't think that I would make it out. I needed positive emotions to fill me out.
Hey ladies, I'm your host, Yvette Lloyd, and I would like to welcome Tanya Miller to Life Her Podcast. Hey Tanya.
Hey, Miss Yvette. Hey, Life Hurt. How y'all doing today?
How you been? So, how was your day today?
It was okay. It was okay. My mama just left. Her and my niece, they came over for a little bit. Y'all know, with this whole situation going on, some of the normals that you would think that's there, not there. So, y'all, she came to get some bleach, y'all. So she had to go get some bleach because she ain't been able to find none for like 2 weeks. And I had an extra
Wow.
gallon. So
Girl,
she
I've been
rolled
trying
through.
to,
She rolled
I
through.
understand. It's hard finding Lysol and everything right about now.
Yes. Mm,
And so,
so we
tell us a
good.
little bit about yourself and your company and what you do as far as when you do speaking and coaching and things of that nature.
Absolutely. So, like you said, my name is Tanya. The company is Tanya J Miller LLC. The brand or blog that you will see on social media is Talking with Tanya. That Talking with Tanya piece comes from the blog. I had that actually before I had the company, but basically that started from me wanting to help you where you're at, and it was a part of nonprofit I had. I wanted to make sure that I kept that going, so I have that under the company. But in that, I do, like she mentioned, I'm an author. I've gotten 3 projects that I have out there, which include 6 books and journals. Um, I also have a 4th one coming out. I am a speaker, so you'll see me at, conferences, summits, right now virtually. You'll hear me on podcast conversations and interviews and Facebook Lives and IG Lives and, MC and those different things like that. And then as a coach, I'm definitely always trying to, help you to figure out how to fit the puzzle pieces of life together. So you'll see that. And then as a strategist, I'm definitely always trying to help you do life and leadership unapologetically on purpose. So, I'm here for us to talk because, we all know that we have this thing called life, that if we can figure out as women how to do life together and how to have that conversation to support each other through it, I'm down. And so that is definitely something that Yvette is doing, and that's what we're digging into today. So I'm ready.
I know that's right. What inspired you from, starting your company and started doing everything as far as speaking life into other individuals?
hmm it's kind of one of those things where you already been doing it and you just realize that this is a part of your purpose, and why not, pull it all together and be, you know, the whole thing, the whole package. And so that's kind of what it was. Like, I feel like I've been doing public speaking since I was 4 years old. So that's been always a part of my life, even though, like you, I like to be in the background. I like to be chill. I like to be behind the scenes. But some kind of way, I was always, okay, but what you got to say, Tanya? Spotlight on you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely always a part of it. The writing and things. Like I said, the blog started out as an email 15 years ago, but even before that, like, I just can remember it always, even in my writing classes, we were always writing. I had that creative writing spirit. Um, always would enjoy those English projects where we created a book, like type thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that has always been a part of me. And then the life coaching aspect, it's literally what I've been doing before it was a term, before it was a title. I've been doing it for over 18 years, with teens and youth. When I took over our youth department at our church, I have been doing it, with young adults and women after that, and throughout things. And so whether it was mentors or even being a part of organizations or just being that person that people called and needed to talk to, or honestly random people. Like literally, my husband would be like, "Can we go? Like, are you really up here canceling this person that you don't even know? Like, this girl got to go back and work. She waiting on tables, and you done just have to get her whole life, and she toe up there." I'm like, listen. If she
You-
needed this, I can't help you. She needed it clearly. I had to help my sis, okay?
My
So
husband the same way.
I'm like, I can't leave my sis like this. I gotta help us.
Uh-huh.
I heard that word, like Michelle Williams said. So, it's been just a part of who I was, and so just when I started to decide to publish the book, and we can talk about that first project, I was like, why not bring all of who I am and what I do to one thing and one company, and bet on myself, and so that's
Mhm.
what I decided to do. The strategist part of it is me bringing the corporate America work of what I do as far as project management work. So a lot of times you may look at it like, hey, how is project management going to be applicable to my life or the leadership side of my business? It's the same principles, the fundamentals of it all. You got to see it as ways and steps and manage it and put it all together and try it out. It's the same fundamental principles. And so yeah, like that's how I got started, but before I got started I had already started, if that makes sense. So I just brought it
Oh,
all
it makes a
together.
lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So tell me about the younger you. How were you as a child?
A nerd for sure. I be laughing because I be trying to tell people, listen, ain't no athletic in me. I'm sorry, it's not. Everybody else got that
Aw.
gene in my family, but your girl, no. I was barely making it through PE. I don't know. I think they just gave me 100 because I was just nice.
Oh my God,
I
bless
would
your heart.
try, shoot, but definitely, just I always enjoy learning and taking what was out there to know that just learning it and applying it, it opened the world of opportunities and experience. And I think that just comes from the exposure that those type of things offer in mentorship. I'm a big proponent of mentorship because I experienced it at a very early age. Like I think my first mentorship was either like in fourth or fifth grade, and just seeing those opportunities and experiences, from a kid that where we first was born and raised is an area that folk wouldn't think where I am now would have came from, but that was the thing that my parents worked so hard to do, is to let us know we weren't our circumstances or our situation, and nobody could make us be or see anything else. We are who we're supposed to be. It's something my mama would always say, and and then my daddy would piggyback on it and just be like, and have faith. If you just have faith of a mustard seed. And so those principles, honestly, hit so early. They literally shape the foundation of who I was and who I am. And, even when I have doubt, when I have worry, I still be hearing them same words and reminiscing back to those same times when I didn't think we was gonna get out of this, but we got over. I didn't think this would happen, but look, it happened, and you still alive. You still made it. You got through it, and so even because people would think that I'm on this show talking to you, you are doing this show, and we all both fine. We ain't got nothing wrong in our life. Don't nothing go wrong. Ain't nothing ever bad happen. But I'm sure you can attest as well. Now, life happens. Life happens when you're young. Life happens when
Right.
you're younger, and life happens still happening as we're older. But the thing about it is, we use that life and we use it to live it on purpose and use the pain of it use the pain of our life to be doing life purposefully. And so, that's no, for sure. It was a journey. It was stuff. Like I said,
Mhm.
that was the nerd in me, but I'm only telling you I was a nerd. But in pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, they tried to tell my mom that we were below the level of learning and, we needed to be in special education, me and my brother, which was in fourth grade. And my mom was
Mhm.
like, no, that's a lie. That's a lie, basically.
Right.
Listen, if y'all ain't figured out my mom was a trip.
They try to
And,
label you early too.
yeah. And she was like, nah, not my children. And pretty much you don't know. And so because you don't know, I need to go find somebody that see what I see and can speak life into that and to expose them for what they are, but for what they and pull out what they can be. And so that's why I laugh and I say I'm a nerd because I know that that wasn't the title that I was originally given.
That's and sometimes people think being a nerd is a problem. But
Mhm.
as they get older, they be like, shoot, that was a good thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
especially when they were already trying to label you as a young
Mhm.
adult. But come to
Yes.
find out you gifted.
Yeah. Absolutely. Was in gifted and talent from that point forward. Was in magnet. Was in AP. Was in honors. Sat on the third row of a graduating class of 1,000 people. So yeah, some was always, you know, oh, you not this, you not that. But when you know and you taught, now you who you're supposed to be, and you everything that you're supposed to be, and now go do it, go live it. Can't nobody get
Mhm.
me off, as we would say back in the day, can't nobody get me off my square knowing what I know. You can't pull me your way in that way when I know who I am and whose I am.
Right. Right. What are some struggles that you have experienced in life?
Like I said, definitely, growing up early, the label of trying to say we were this and that we didn't know. So, and there's nothing wrong with special education. My mom actually works in special education to this day, and I sub, so I have a heart for it. But just because you don't understand me doesn't mean that you can label me. I felt like somebody needs to hear that. So let me say that one more time. Just because you didn't understand me does not mean you can label me. And so that honestly has happened a few times, because my daddy would say, and it was so funny that I'm saying it because I'm thinking about something I told my brother about my niece. Like it was very early, and I
Mhm.
told him, I said she's peculiar, and he got offended. Him and my sister-in-law, they got offended and they got upset, right? And
Mhm.
we were on a family trip the year before last, like July 2018, and my brother came to me and said, Sam. That's my nickname. I don't tell y'all my nickname. But he was like, Sam, I didn't understand what you meant when you said what you said. He was like, but you are so right. He is secure. He said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got me and my wife got so offended because we thought that you were saying something negative and bad about her. He said, but when I began to look at what you said and I looked it up in the Bible and the dictionary, and when I began to see who she was and how she was blossoming, I realized that was not a label. That was just you seeing in her the possibility. And so I don't know. That was for somebody else too. Don't because sometimes the labels that you think are wrong
Mhm.
aren't wrong. You just have to see the wholeness of the picture. But back to
Mhm.
your question, some of the struggles, so that was one, you know, overcoming in high school. I had literally I came from what they called an inner city urban school, even though it was a magnet program, y'all. Even though it was a magnet program, sis, I
Yeah.
was labeled that I needed to go back a grade, right? I said, wait, hold on. Shit, what you
Wow.
say? And they were like, yeah, because I had went from a magnet program in a different school district, and they were like, that school is an inner city school, and that district is below our level of what we do here, and you really need to think about going back and really starting over because I that particular year was a year that changed for that school district. And so their ninth graders had been a part of middle school, so they didn't have any credits coming into high school. Whereas I had been a ninth grader and I was in a high school and a magnet program, so I had like twice as many credits as incoming sophomores had, right? And
Mhm.
so, and I was taking classes that were junior classes as a sophomore. And so she was like, no, we need to put you back in sophomore classes and we need to take your credits away because they thought it was
Wow.
equivalent. Listen, if y'all ain't figured out my mom,
What?
if y'all ain't figured out my mama ain't for play, listen, my mama
I was
say,
gonna say, I know your mom was walking up in there
listen,
like
listen.
Sophia.
No, this happened like in our meeting with the counselor. And my mama say, she turned around, she was like, first of all, you don't know my daughter. And but let me let you know, she gonna let you know who she is. So now we're not doing none of this you saying because I know my daughter, and if she say she can do it, she can do it. What you gonna have? She's like, what you gonna end up finding out is she gonna prove you wrong. No lie. And my mama literally, she could have dropped the mic because she walked out right after that. Like no lie.
And like, come
Listen, listen. This woman called me back because there's standardized testing as well, and so she was like, if we do this, like she has to pass the testing right away, or this and this and that, because I was like all this stuff, right? And I was like, does she think I'm a dummy? Like, hold on, no lie, y'all. Listen, I passed the standardized testing where I almost got a perfect score. Okay, y'all, a
on.
perfect
No,
score.
shut
She
it down.
called me into in the first time, not the second, not the third, not the fourth, the first time. She called me, sent a pass to where I was in my class, and called me into her office and was like, all just crying and like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, apparently, did nobody else get no perfect scores, okay? And I was just looking at her like, okay, like this ain't a big deal. Like that's because you don't know who I am, but I know who I am because my mama told me I am who I'm supposed to be, and this is a part of who I'm supposed to be. A whole bunch of people didn't think I was this my whole life, but let me let you know, I know who I am, so I just be it. I don't. It ain't even
Hmm.
about showing you and prove to you. I just be it. And so those definitely are some. That's just child. That's just high school. And even when I graduated, she once again pulled me to the side, crying and apologized, and wrote me a note. Everything was like, I would never doubt you. I apologize. And
Aw.
that same person wrote college of recommendation and scholarship letters for every time I asked her because she basically said I almost made a mistake and I would never
Wow.
make that mistake again. So yeah, she definitely
I mean,
prejudged
and that's
me.
big of, yeah, and that's big of her too to even come and
Yeah.
apologize because some people don't even get that.
Mhm.
You know, they
Absolutely.
don't get it at all. Cause I battled that because we have this proficiency test that we had to pass before we graduated high school. And if we didn't pass any of those
Mhm.
subjects, we wasn't
It
walking
was the
across the
same for us.
stage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Had the same thing. And it was just crazy how a test can predict who you are as far as your
Mhm.
education when it's broader than that.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So what are the challenges that you faced as far as just living your adult life and everything?
Definitely if you followed me or you listen to me on Talk on 10 Year, I brought it up because it's a part of the story. It's even a part of how the first book, My Matters, came out. But newly married, right after right before the market really crashed in 2008. So newly married in '07, relocated across the country, no job. Once again, either you overqualified or we don't even understand what your previous work is. But either way, we're not gonna hire you. Like all of that happened. Then the market crashed. Well, the market crash was about real estate. Well, my husband and their family were realtors. Not only they're realtors, they had just opened their own real estate company. That means they had just put all their money into that. And then here go the market crashes and real estate bombing out. And so literally financial problems, struggles, literally even once we got jobs. sixth out unemployment between the both of us in 7 years. Even on some of those jobs, some more prejudging what's happening as well. Some more things. Just literally, I'm working, he get let go. He working, I get laid. I like no lie. It was just you couldn't make this up. Like it literally was just like what? Like is this for real? Like you know, like
Mhm.
this real life. Even in the midst of that, you know, trying to find friends and stuff because I'm new here. And but the blessing was when I finally was like, apparently I'm living here now. I had to get there in my head like, oh, I live here now. Making friends, but making friends that ended up being family. Sisters to this day,
That's
making
good.
aunties, making grannies, stuff like that. So that helped. But you already know with finances that meant a whole lot of struggles and burdens that we both bear, and that brought issues and things like that. Like I said, issues on the job. We were working, were happening. Health issues for me. I was dealing with a lot of health stuff because when you any health issue you got, when stress arrives, whatever you got, it's gonna 10 times that much worse. And so I have some chronic illnesses, and I was younger then. So I'm just be honest, like I didn't know, this was this, that was that. Then I'm newly
Mhm.
married, and I'm like, hold on, wait, huh? Wait, hold on, I don't even
Yes.
understand. And so just
Man.
trying to figure out what this trigger does and then trying to get doctors to understand and them to figure out what to do. And like one of the chronic illnesses I had, I didn't even find out until years later. And that was like part of what was explaining everything. So, managing that, figuring that out, so it was just a lot. And then being away from family because I'm close, we have a huge family, immediate
Mhm.
and extended. But and so that was a challenge because if you broke, can't nobody catch no plane ticket to go
Yeah,
see
they
mom and
sure
dad.
can't.
Like so, like it was real. And so, eventually a lot of it just kept hitting and it kept hitting, and I was like, okay, I'm about done. Y'all better do something. I better do something. And so I did. Went to therapy. I believe in therapy. Like girl, her, she, y'all, us. We need to do therapy. Don't just hold it all in. Don't just try and put it all on your shoulders when you need to go
Mhm.
let it out and let it go. So went to therapy, started just doing some of the things that are for me. And part of what was for me in my outlet and where I am able to release and where I'm able to, even if you don't understand how I can do it in my pain, is because it's my purpose. And so getting
Yeah.
back to writing, getting back to helping, getting it back to being what I am, even if I'm still fighting my pain, I gotta do my purpose because that's part of why the pain was able to get so big and so far. Because if I can say it like this, y'all, the enemy stopped me. He blocked me and was like, no, no, you can't, no, you can't, no, sis, no. Stay over here in your pain. Stay over here in your pity. Stay over here in
Mhm.
your grief. Stay over here in your sickness. Stay in that because that's where you're supposed to be. And I had forgot who I was. I remember my mama told me you are who you're supposed to be, and I had forgot for a minute. And so I started remembering. I started doing it again. Started being who I was. So started back to writing and doing the blog back more. But in the process of that, I literally started in my little old split phone back then, writing down, saying to myself, I don't want anybody else to feel like this. I don't want anybody to not know how to get unstuck. I don't want anybody to know how to get out of their own head. I don't want anybody to not know how to jump out in a life. I don't want anybody that sees somebody that's going through trauma, that's going through grief, that's going through loss, that's going through depression, anxiety, mental challenges, unexpected life disasters. I don't want them to not know how to be there for them to understand or just talk to them. Because sometimes folks can come at folks sideways, like, "Oh, baby, it's gonna be all right." She,
Yeah.
she gonna be all right. She better now. I know that, but I still miss my sister. Okay,
Yeah.
like I can still miss my sister. Like for real, I can. I already know. I'm glad she's healed on the other side, but I'm still gonna
Mhm.
miss her. I'm
Right.
still gonna have those days that I'm gonna miss my auntie because literally she died in 5 days, and then nobody even know she had terminal cancer, including her. Like, I hear what you
Aw.
said, but I'm
Right.
still gonna be at a pain point. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna
Yeah.
be there. I'm still, even though my granny had Alzheimer's for years, it don't change the fact that even though she better now, she gone. And the fact even how she
Yeah.
left,
My grandmother
in
has
pain.
that too. It's
So
pain.
yeah,
It's painful even experiencing that because it's like one minute they know you, next minute they won't know you at all.
yep, yep, exactly,
That's
exactly. So
painful. So I already know how you felt with that.
yeah, so like I said, and like I told y'all, just because we on here, we talking to y'all, we chopping it up, that don't mean we don't have life. That don't mean we don't have pain. That don't mean we might be in the middle of it right now. That just means
Mhm.
that we know how to use the pain and make sure that we do what we know is our purpose, and we find the purpose in it. We find a way to be able to not stay in it, but process through it and keep going, um, and doing our purpose, because that actually is a part of the healing. That is a part of the restoration. That is a part of the process.
Right. It's like we can't let it define us. We still got to keep going even though we're going through these changes.
Mhm.
Just so
Absolutely.
so we could, just stay motivated and everything because if we got to stand still, it'll
Mm.
start to accumulate more and more and it'll break us down, break our bodies down.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, why would you stand in the middle of it when you can stand above it, or you can walk through it?
Mhm. Mhm. I totally agree. I really do. So, as far as you empowering women and everything, what do you
Hmm.
do like for yourself sometimes? Cuz sometimes we do have those personal feelings. So, do you take time out for yourself?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'll be completely transparent with you guys. Like, when my sister passed away last summer, um, I wasn't ready. Um, and everybody, I'll be honest, nobody was. It wasn't that I did not know she was sick again and that the cancer had came back. It was, I think we just all may have just kind of, okay, she looked fine, she fine, like she must be straight, or it's not that bad. And so my sister is very much like me. She's my older sister, but we very much alike. Everybody would say I was her twin, and then her daughter was my twin, and so
Mhm.
they would be like, y'all the triplets. And so our birthdays were a day apart, and but literally she was just like me. Um, you know, don't want to burden anybody, don't want to, put nobody off or bother you, because me being in pain, that's not anything you could do about it, and so I don't want you to mess up your day, just I don't want to have to burden nobody. And she was just to be the same way that I am. And so we actually talked about that too. I have another project that's coming out probably next year that
Mhm.
was actually a blessing, because I didn't know that that would be part of the last of the things that she would ever do, because she wanted to write a book and she didn't. And that'll be part of her writing and saying and putting her legacy out there. So, but, I didn't get to say bye.
Aw.
Literally, yeah, like that shook me to the core. And it was so crazy because I had been working with her in her business on some stuff, and I had broke my foot, y'all. And so I don't live near her. And so she would be like, well, come. Listen, she's the oldest, but she's like, come on, Ken, listen. And I be like, and so I was like, I mean, can't we do it over phone, Zoom, or whatever? And so finally, the meetings, right? And so, and then she was just calling, and I was like, this is crazy. And so finally, I ended up coming over there for some of the meetings, and she was like, "Oh, you done broke your foot. That's why you." I was like, yes, child, I done broke my foot. Why you don't broke it? And then you gonna start fussing at me. Y'all shouldn't start fussing at me because I broke my foot. Like, for real? Like, where do you do that at?
That's
That's
the
how you know the relationship we had. But so because I didn't know how bad it was, but I said that to say I look back now and I started to realize she was telling me, like, it was stuff she was telling me, like she was trying to do this. And I was like, why is she trying? She said, because I got to get it. And so after she passed, it all made sense. And that was a part of how I was able to even process it. But at the same time, it still hurts. Like every birthday, I'm gonna feel it all over again that she's not here, and that just happened. But part of what I do in that process, there is this. We used to live in Virginia, and there were a lot of nature trails and hikes and stuff like that. And me and my husband would go. Well, then listen, y'all, I live in Texas. They ain't barely no real river or lake here. All of them man-made. And so, but there is this one particular area and nature part
hmm
that literally, when I go to it, I feel like I am not in Dallas, Texas. I feel like I'm not in Texas. I feel like I'm not anywhere. And it's just me, the nature, God, and my sister, and any of the other people that I've lost. And I feel like that's where I find him and I find them. And so that is one particular place that I go to. Like I literally can go and I can just be there. My husband's like, I'm not going with you because you're gonna be there like 2 hours. But I
Yeah,
literally can
for your
empty. I
peace
can
out.
empty myself. Yeah, I can empty
hmm
myself. I can pour everything out. I can unburden myself. I can take everything off, and I can come out renewed, refreshed, rejuvenated, and just free. And so that is definitely something that I do a lot. If and when I can, because it's not necessarily close. But that's something I do a lot because I really find him there and I find them there. So, and I literally the week and a half she passed, I probably went like 8 times. Like they probably was like, "Girl, we ain't never seen you this
But
much." But
yeah,
I
but it
was
worked. It
there,
worked
like,
for you though. It worked
yeah.
for
And
you to
remember, I
get
told y'all
through
I
it.
ain't athletic and I barely passed PE, so y'all gotta know this a whole blessing. This a
hmm
whole thing. I ain't even athletic, but
Right,
I'll be out there. I'll be out there hiking. So,
man. That's something. Well, in closing, it was really good talking to you. I really love this conversation and getting to know you a lot more. But what is something that you could tell our listeners on how to continue to move forward and continue to value themselves and heal themselves and just enjoy life and cherish moments?
I would just say to end it, sis, fam, um, don't be afraid to be you. You know, even when you're hurt, even when you're in pain, even when it's the other side of what you didn't hope for. You know, even when it's at times that don't seem right or best. Be afraid to be you because being you is how you'll get through it, how you'll get to the other side, and how you will continue to be able to remain whole. So keep being you, sis. It's all good.
Yes, I love it. And I'm taking notes on that too. Just to keep going, you got to. It's no other option. So
Yes,
if
ma'am.
someone wanted to get in touch with you or purchase your merch or even go to your school, because I've
Hmm.
seen that's the bomb too. I'm about to watch some of them videos. So if
Yes, actually, some of them that are free, and I'm loading. I'm doing one sometime this week and next. Adding, I did what I call 7 days of mind matters, but I added I did it on social media, but I'm adding a few more things to it, and I'll be loading that as a class for probably, definitely under $10, maybe like $5 more than likely that
okay.
I'll put it up there for. But it's some free stuff out there too, so. And there are classes on life and leadership. So it's stuff on there, everything from networking to grace. Sometimes you need to see and understand the different levels of grace that we find, and then it's stuff out there on just letting you know, hey sis, how you gonna slay this day. So it's a different thing, but it's out there, but it's stuff for exactly where you're at. So school.tanyajmiller.com is the online school, and then for merch, message merch as I call it, shirt, message tees, message buttons, stickers. Literally, there's many message cards that are out there, kind of to put before you, remind you to stay affirmed and keep going. Especially, with 2020 not going how many had planned, you got to be reminded that you just have to cultivate this perspective and find a new way to do it. And so, I literally have things on my site, on my store for $1, that are out there. So check it out. Go to shop.tanyajmiller.com, and the books and journals are there, but they're also on Amazon. I won't be offended if you go to Amazon. So the books are there in print, digital, and audio, and then the journals are there in print. The difference that I would tell you with me and Ms. Yvette was talking about before is that if you sign up and join my fam at bit.ly, all caps, join fam, you get 20% off your first order at shop.tanyajmiller.com. So you might got the prime and the shipping, but I'm going to throw some discounts at you. So, you make your choice.
Y'all better
And then just
support.
overall, the site is tanyajmiller.com. And so all the links are there. You can find information on if you want to do coaching, if you find information if you need strategy sessions, or, hey, you might want me on your podcast or your next event, conference, summit, Facebook Live. So information on my speaking and how to reach out to me are there as well. And then, of course, I'm on social media under Talking with Tanya, and I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And because y'all are my fam, I can tell y'all I have a mixtape, and it's on all digital outlets. I'm not rapping, but it's what I do on Talking with Tanya, and it's over a dope beat. So check it out. Talking with Tanya, the mixtape, Volume 1, and it's, stream it, download it. I just love to hear from you guys, and for sure, thank you, Yvette, for having me on today to just talk with the Life Her ladies and fam, and just to be able to share. We all have a journey, we all have a trial, but from trial there comes testimony, and from there there's an opportunity to uplift and inspire women so that you all can be, as my mama would say, who you're supposed to be, unapologetically, on purpose. So thank you, sis. Y'all support her, follow, like, comment, let us know how y'all feel about the episode. Support her, buy the merchandise. Just show as much love as you can, because when we show love to each other, that's some of the greatest love ever. So
And
thank
keep
you.
showing it too. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Life Her Podcast, where we help heal women all over the world. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Life Her Podcast, and check out our YouTube page as well. And make sure you subscribe. You can also look onto our website and you can purchase merchandise and listen to the podcast episodes. I am Yvette Lloyd. I am Life Her. Love yourself, ladies. Take care of yourself and others you love dearly.
Stay tuned for the next session.